This is a Film Stories original podcast.
We made this.
Welcome to Minute 69 of the X-Files, Fight the Future Minute. I'm Sarah Blair, and I'm joined by Cortlan Waters Bartley. Welcome back, Cortlan.
Hi, Sarah. Good to be here.
This minute begins at 1 hour and 8 minutes with a cliffhanger from our last episode. Scully has evidence. And then it ends at 1:08:59. A lot happens in this minute.
Yeah.
It ends with another cliffhanger, though. Because Deana again says you have conclusive evidence. Which is kind of funny because my minutes with Cathy, the last minutes, were with Deana ending. So I've got a lot of Deana in my minutes, which is fine by me because she's amazing. And I appreciate her. So
she is a pretty excellent OPR interviewer. She's very stern. It's great.
She's good at her job. That's probably why she's gotten so high up the ladder in a man's world. her and Scully got to stick together. Dang it.
I know.
But yeah, so let's get into this, Cortlan. Let's talk about minute 69. Sorry, I'm 12. I can't not say that suggestively. There's no way I'm going to be able to say that. Apologies to all you people who have class. I'm not one of you. So Scully, we'll jump right into this. Scully has fossilized bone fragments. Are these, Cortlan, fragments from the Neanderthals?
I think we're supposed to think, yes, that they're fossils from some Neanderthals.
This is an interesting segment of the film because we get Mulder and Scully back and forth. And they're in two different places, but they cut back and forth. So then Mulder is with Kurtzweil in a bar. I kind of like the representation here that Mulder and Scully are telling this story and unveiling the story to the audience, essentially, but to these other people, and they're figuring out the plot, but they're doing it with Mulder and Scully together, and I kind of like the partnership there.
Yeah, they're both kind of laying out the case in pretty different ways, which, I mean, any fan would expect them to have pretty different ways of explaining what they're doing. Because we don't get to hear Scully explain anything about cornfields or Jiffy Pop Poppers. She has, fossilized evidence, and she has really detailed scientific, or would like to have really detailed scientific evidence. She's working on it, as she says.
Well, she's the medical doctor, so she's the best one to present the medical evidence.
I don't know if you've heard. She's a medical doctor.
Did you know that Scully is a medical doctor? I didn't.
I had no idea.
It's news to me.
And then obviously Mulder is like in a dark bar. I would say it's smoky. It doesn't look smoky, but in my imagination, it's smoky. It's a smoky bar with Kurtzweil talking about corn crops, and it makes perfect sense that that's how they would both respectively lay out their cases.
Yeah, absolutely. They're intertwined, so even though they may be about to break up as FBI partners, they're still partners in life. That may or may not be suggestive towards shippership. But
this is minute 69.
It is.
As you've pointed out.
Did you know it's minute 69? Why couldn't the almost kiss have happened in minute 69? I feel like that was definitely poor planning.
I do want to talk about one thing specifically as it relates to Mulder. He got to go home and change clothes. He's wearing different clothes than he wore in the cornfield.
But if Scully had gotten to go home and change clothes, then she wouldn't have been stung by the bee, and they would have kissed and gone in Mulder's apartment and got it on, and then we would have just not had a rest of the movie, which would have been fine by me. I would have been happy ending it at minute 74. That's a solid hour of X-Files. And then you get like the other hour with just Mulder and Scully in his apartment. But is this before or after? When is he? No, this is before he gets his bed, right? Before Dreamland.
True.
He doesn't have a bed yet, but I mean, he's got a couch. He's got a kitchen table.
Oh my. Minute 69. Coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Haven't thought about this at all. He's got a coffee table. He's got a desk.
A coffee table? Okay. I don't trust Mulder's coffee table. Sorry. Trust no one. I just think I mean, Scully had to go to that meeting in her dirty clothes. And Mulder got to go home and change before he went to see Kurtzweil. But I also kind of want to mention Kurtzweil, who has been apparently in that bar the whole time. Like, how long has he been there? How many drinks has he had? Or is he, like, just drinking water and the bartender is like, okay, buddy, time to go?
The bartender cut Mulder off for too many conspiracy. When he started talking about conspiracies, she's like, I think you've had enough, sir. But not Kurtzweil. She's like, here, have a few more.
Kurtzweil has been in the same bar talking about conspiracies to anyone who will listen. Now. The whole time. This entire movie he's spent in this bar.
Anybody who will listen.
Just whoever walks in. He's like, hey, let me tell you about conspiracy.
They're listening to us right now. And then the bartender's like, don't mind him. He's just our resident conspiracy theorist. That's why she had to cut Mulder off, because they already had a conspiracy theorist.
We can't have two.
In the bar. They can't have two. This is too many.
Positions taken. I don't know. I know that there are a lot of Kurtzweil fans out there. I am not one of them. So I'm so sorry, Kurtzweil fans.
I didn't know there was a position to take. Can I be the Switzerland of Kurtzweil fans? Okay. I'm neutral. A neutral stance.
He does. I mean, I think Martin Landau does a great job, but like, that character is not my favorite.
He's there purely for exposition, I think.
He is.
Like in The Witcher, where Jaskier is like, I'm just the guy who sings the exposition. Like, that's Kurtzweil.
Except that he doesn't even sing it. So
no. That would be, we need to have the X-Files Fight the Future, the musical. That could be part 2 for the X-Files, the musical.
I mean, probably better to have a full musical than to just randomly have Kurtzweil singing. Yeah. Just the rest of the movie stays the same, but Kurtzweil sings his part instead.
Emily, I think you need to get on that.
She would do a great job. It's hilarious. That musical is hilarious.
If you've not seen the X-Files parody musical, you need to go look that up on YouTube because it's amazing. And I'm really sad that I did not get to see it live. I'm so sad. I think it would have been an incredible experience. But alas, I did not arrive in Chicago in time for that. But
me either.
Oh well, what are you going to do?
Watch it on YouTube.
Watch it on YouTube and drink wine.
Yes.
That's what we did. So, one last big moment.
Sure, I'm ready.
Scully accuses Special Agent Darius Michaud of planting the bomb. Or not planting it, but knowing that it was there. Mm-hmm. And not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Which is, she's spot on. She's right on. But then Blythe Danner's like, that is a big accusation, which it is. That's a big deal. She's accusing a fellow agent of something really terrible.
She is. I mean, she is saying a lot of things in this meeting. I mean, we don't get to, I don't feel like we get to hear Scully saying a lot of, but we can assume, right, that she's explaining the same thing that Mulder is. And so she's saying a lot of stuff, and you can kind of, there's that moment Blythe Danner says, like, you've been back to Dallas, and she's a little bit scandalized that Scully has been back to Dallas. But, you know, Scully is in trouble, and I don't, she's kind of trying to dig herself out of it, but I don't know if she, obviously, I mean, we know how this ends, so obviously she doesn't get out of it, but it's kind of precarious, Scully's meeting there.
She's walking into this major meeting saying, I've got fossilized Neanderthal bones. There's a virus and Special Agent Darius Michaud did it. Like, that's quite a few giant leaps to make. And I don't have the evidence yet, but I will. And you should trust me because I'm a medical doctor. I mean, if you were Agent Cassidy, what would you, I mean, I can't say I blame her for not believing this.
No, I mean, it certainly sounds like nonsense when you say it that way. When you say it that way.
When Scully lays it all out in the meeting. Well, might be why Skinner is sitting the way he is. He's just like, he's got his head in his hand, and he's just like rubbing his beautiful bald forehead, and he's like, oh God, Scully. But he believes her, he believes her, but he's just like, when you say it out loud, it sounds really different. but it's true, but it just sounds insane. But yeah, so he is just gonna.
Yeah. I mean, and then honestly, right, this is the X-Files. It doesn't really matter what evidence Scully has. It's not going to be enough to make a difference.
Never enough. Yep.
Poor girl.
So, all right, I think that about wraps it up.
Oh, one other.
Oh, yes.
One other Kurtzweil note. Sorry.
Okay.
I really appreciate that at some point in their conversation, Kurtzweil literally says to Mulder, well, what did it look like? He's talking about the conspiracy that Mulder saw in Texas. And he goes, well, what did it look like? What does he think Mulder is going to say? Because, is Mulder going to be like, it looked like aliens, Kurtzweil? Duh. No. No. Mulder.
It looked like 2 giant Jiffy Pop poppers, Kurtzweil. That's what it looked like.
I kind of wanted Mulder to be like, it looked like Field of Dreams. Come on, Kurtzweil. What did it look like? I don't know. What did it? He says it so earnest, like he's so excited. He has so much expectation. What did it look like? Well, Field of Dreams. But also, you can't see a virus. That's not viruses. I don't know.
Well, Kurtzweil is not a medical doctor. He doesn't know.
Isn't he? Oh, yes, he is. Isn't he a medical doctor?
Oh, yeah, he is. He's a pediatrician.
Yes, he
right?
is.
Or no, not a pediatrician. He's a gynecologist.
Yeah. So he is a medical doctor.
He should know. Damn it, Kurtzweil.
I just have a lot of. I don't know. What did it look like? Oh my God. Anyway, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Just a Kurtzweil. Kurtzweil note.
Field of Dreams. And all of the aliens are gonna come out of the core in Field of Dreams.
And play baseball. This all ties together really well.
Because if Duchovny had written this, that's what would happen.
They would definitely be aliens.
We have the baseball playing aliens. Let's be real about that. I think we'll leave it there for now. And we'll be back in our next episode, episode 70. That just doesn't have the same ring as 69. Does
Minute
it?
69, part 2.
All right. Episode 70 coming up. Cortlan and I will be back. We'll see you next time. But until then, trust no one.
Elsewhere on We Made This. The Sanctuary, a Star Trek, politics and economics podcast.
Sci-fi needs more strong women, and they had her say that, and for that split second she was on camera, she was in uniform as Kira Nerys. And I think that was a really well done piece of framing, a good piece of television, a good piece of framing that was really well done. The whole thing was really, really well done. And I think they got it pretty much right on the mark.
Shipwrecked and Comatose, a Red Dwarf podcast.
I hadn't thought about it any more than Rimmer can see himself, that's unusual. And I'm just wondering, I'm thinking out loud now, is there a reason for that? Or is it just for that one gag?
It's possibly for that one. Well, no, because there's other ones, like where he gets haircuts later in the series, where it's important for him to see himself. And then the build-up is that he hasn't noticed yet.
That was last episode.
Oh, it was future. Yes, it was.
Don't worry. I think we're doing this a lot. It'll be people saying, I don't know if you watch Alan Partridge, when he says, "Stop getting Bond wrong." So I think there'll be plenty of people telling us that we're getting everything wrong, which is great. I love it.
Between the Notes,
Well, I kicked myself because I totally didn't make the connection that Bill Lee would have been related to Spike Lee until I actually looked it up as part of the preparation for this podcast. I was like, oh, he's Spike Lee's dad. I never made that connection.
And he's still going. He's early 90s. He's still with us, which is great.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I was looking up. Apparently, they haven't collaborated since the early 1990s because they've had a bit of a falling out, which is a shame because I think that I thought the Do the Right Thing score was brilliant.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.